If you're someone like myself, then you would often prefer showing up to the airport earlier rather than cutting things close. And I found that the earlier I end up showing up to airports, the more money I end up spending at convenience stores on overpriced bottles of water and bags of chips that I could have purchased prior to me arriving at the airport. And once I've spent way too much money on food and drinks, I would wander over to the seating area near my gate only to find there's no power outlets and the seats are just so dang uncomfortable. This was my experience of flying for pretty much my entire life until the last year when I was able to open up the right credit card for me that unlocked access to the world of airport lounges. You most likely have heard of them, and you've probably even seen pictures and videos out there on social media of the wondrous world of airport lounges that'll give you access to unlimited free food, unlimited free drinks, and some of the most comfortable seats you're ever gonna find in an airport. You might assume you're only able to get access to these airport lounges if you're among the elite frequent flyers, but in today's day and age, that actually couldn't be further from the truth, and one of the easiest ways to get access to these airport lounges is by opening up a credit card. And while this topic is rather nuanced, which makes it hard for me to give a definitive answer for your specific situation, I'm gonna do my best to give a general overall guide and help point you in the right direction as to which credit card might be the best for you to get the lounge access you're looking for. There are a few main ways that you can get access to an airport lounge that don't directly involve opening up a credit card. The first one is you can actually purchase yearly memberships directly with airline lounges themselves, like American Airlines Admiral Club or Delta Sky Club. And depending on the lounge and the type of access you have, and depending on the lounge, you might even be able to pay a one-time entry fee for a day pass that you can use sort of as a trial run to see if you like this lounge and if it fits the travel lifestyle you're trying to ultimately achieve. The lounge access method we're going to be focusing on today is opening up a credit card that has lounge access included as one of its perks and benefits. And the last way is by entering as a guest. Some of these different memberships do include the ability to bring in up to 2 free guests. So the next time you're traveling with friends or family, they can also come along with you into the lounges. Although this isn't the main focus of the video, I still wanted to do my due diligence and just inform you that you can outright pay for a membership, again, with the airlines directly. With American Airlines, to get access to their Admiral clubs, it's $850 a year. For United, it is $650 a year, and Delta $695 a year just for the membership to get into the lounges. Again, I did mention you can purchase single entry passes. Delta unfortunately doesn't sell these anymore, but American Airlines does for $79 per visit, which, yes, is really steep, and so does United for $59 a visit. You can also get varying different levels of membership to these airline lounges by opening up one of their premium co-branded credit cards. Each of the cards on screen are the most premium offerings from the major 3 domestic US airlines, and you'll notice each of these credit cards are actually cheaper to open and hold per year than directly buying a membership with the airlines. And so while this is an option to get airport lounge access, it really only makes sense for people who are frequently traveling with one specific airline. If you're someone like myself who's always just hunting for a deal, hunting for a bargain, and I'm down to fly United, American, or Delta, whichever one is cheapest, well, this probably won't be a good option for you, as if you end up holding one of these credit cards, you're only going to be able to enter that airport lounge if you're flying with the airlines on that particular trip. And so let's say I have the $525 a year United Club card, but for this particular trip, I'm flying with American Airlines. I wouldn't be able to use the lounge perks and benefits because I would need to have a boarding pass with United in order to access their lounges with the membership that I'm paying for. But again, for select travelers and people who are loyalists to airlines, these cards could be a good option for you, and I'll leave links to them down below in the description if you're interested in checking them out and learning more. But the credit cards that are going to be most general and most applicable to the recreational traveler are going to be one of these 3 luxury travel credit cards. The first one is probably one of the most popular out there, the American Express Platinum. This card has a whopping $695 a year annual fee that comes attached to it, but there are a few different ways you can recoup the annual fee, and we'll talk about those in just a second. Second up is the Chase Sapphire Reserve with slightly more reasonable $550 a year annual fee, which is still a lot, don't get me wrong. And last but certainly not least is the Capital One Venture X, which has a $395 a year annual fee, which is almost half compared to the Amex Platinum's annual fee. There are a few other credit cards out there that give you some form or fashion of lounge access in the form of maybe 1 or 2 complimentary visits per year. But if you're someone who's interested in getting proper lounge access, well, then these are the 3 main major US credit cards that are going to allow you to do that. Starting off first in the overview and comparisons of these cards, we have the American Express Platinum. Now again, this card does have a $695 a year annual fee, but fortunately there is a wide variety of credits American Express does give to you so that you can recoup the cost of that annual fee. The credits I've listed, such as the $200 FHR hotel credit, $240 digital entertainment credit, $200 Uber Cash, $200 airline fee credit, and $100 Saks fifth credit, are going to be the easiest ways for you to recoup the annual fee. But this isn't a video focusing on the perks and benefits in general with the American Express, but I just wanted to give a heads up that yes, this is a crazy high annual fee, but a responsible user should be able to make back most of that annual fee each and every year. Moving on to lounge access, this card grants you 3 types of lounge access. The first is going to be access to American Express's Centurion Lounge network. By holding the American Express Platinum card, unfortunately, you're only going to get lounge access for yourself and not any free guests. You can unlock the ability to bring up to 2 free guests with you per visit, but that requires you spending $75,000 on this card in a single calendar year. But if you're traveling with friends and family and you want to get them into the Centurion Lounge with your Amex Platinum, you can pay $50 per guest per visit to bring them on inside with you. Next up, you'll be receiving a complimentary Priority Pass membership. This is a collection of lounges all across the world, totaling up to more than 1,400 lounges internationally. And the great thing is, with this membership, you are able to bring in 2 free guests with you. And last but definitely not least, in terms of lounge perks and benefits, is the fact that the American Express Platinum gives you access to Delta Sky Clubs. This is because American Express and Delta have a partnership, and so by holding the most premium of American Express's offerings, you can use this card to get yourself lounge access into Delta Sky Clubs. And a secret hack with this lounge access is you can visit Delta lounges 3 hours before or after your scheduled departure. So let's say you have a short hour-and-a-half flight. Your flight takes off at 2, lands at 3:30. Well, if you can get to a Delta lounge at your arrival airport by 5 o'clock, you can use your boarding pass and your Amex Platinum to get into the lounge upon arrival, making this an incredibly underrated perk and benefit of this card. It is important to note that currently within the 2024 calendar year, you are given unlimited entries into Delta Sky Clubs with your Amex Platinum, but that is going to be changing in 2025 as due to lounge overcrowding and people having to frequently wait to get into these lounges, American Express is going to be implementing a 10 visit limit per year in 2025 with your Amex Platinum. But if I'm going to be honest, I don't even know if I could use all of those visits in a single year with this card. And I thought it'd be really helpful to show a map of all the different lounge locations that each card offers. And so this right here is a map of the Priority Pass lounge locations. I do want to note that all of these aren't actually airport lounges and could be things like minute suites or massages, which you can use your Priority Pass membership to receive complimentary benefits. And so the way that I personally like to think of my Priority Pass membership is that domestically, it's really just there to kind of fill in the gaps, as most of the actual Priority Pass airport lounges aren't really that good, and if you check the reviews online, they're probably not going to be saying a whole lot of great things about. And so if I ever didn't want to visit a lounge, instead wanted to get a massage at one of these locations or take a nap in one of their minute suite locations, then that's more what I would use this for. And so although you do get access to 1,400 lounges worldwide, they're kind of stretching the truth there a little bit. And in the last year of me owning my Priority Pass membership, I have never once used it domestically, and so I just wanted to throw some caution to the wind. But what the Amex Platinum is most known for is their Centurion Lounge network. This is the map of all of the lounges located across the globe. There are currently 15 locations open within the domestic United States and another 15 or so located globally. Amex has done a phenomenal job of opening up lounge locations inside of popular airports within the United States. I'd argue the only popular airport that doesn't have an Amex Centurion Lounge would be the Chicago O'Hare Airport. And if you're curious to learn if there's an Amex Centurion Lounge in your home airport, then I'll go ahead and leave some resources linked down below, which you can use to check out where all these lounges are located to see if you can visit one the next time you have an upcoming trip. And again, to really just hammer home how extensive American Express's domestic lounge network is, this is a location of all of the Delta Sky Clubs. Again, you can only visit these airport lounges with your American Express Platinum if you currently have a boarding pass with Delta for that particular day. If you're flying United, or if you're flying American or Frontier or Spirit, any other airlines, you won't be able to visit a Delta Sky Club with your Amex Platinum, again, unless you're flying with them. And so So combining the over 50 Delta Sky Clubs with the 15 American Express and Turn lounges, the Amex Platinum absolutely clears the Capital One Venture X and the Chase Sapphire Reserve in terms of their airport lounge offerings. But again, it does come with that really hefty price point of $695 a year. But again, there's just no other card out there that beats it. Even though the Chase Sapphire Reserve doesn't have more comprehensive lounge access than the American Express Platinum, it still could make sense for you based off of where your home airport is and your travel lifestyle and preferences. This card again comes with a $550 a year annual fee, but it has a smaller list of credits that help you offset that annual fee. I would argue you could use $300 to $350 a year in their credits to help offset the annual fee, so you're still probably out of pocket paying around $200 a year for this card. Where you can make up that difference in annual fee is mainly with the Chase Ultimate Rewards point ecosystem and their lounge access benefits. With this card, you will get access to the Chase Sapphire Lounge collection, and unlike the American Express Platinum, you'll actually get entry for both yourself and up to 2 free guests. You'll also receive that same complimentary Priority Pass membership, and that's where the lounge access perks and benefits unfortunately end. As a quick refresher, these are all of the different Priority Pass locations domestically, and I did want to point out that while I've never used my Priority Pass membership here in the United States, I did use it multiple times on a recent trip overseas in Europe, because that is where Priority Pass really shines, is in Europe and Asia. There are literally like almost 1,000 lounges, I think, between Europe and Asia, and different places you can use your Priority Pass membership. So if you're someone who does a lot of international travel and not so much domestic travel, well then this could actually be a better fit for you, because that Priority Pass membership internationally is where you're really able to get the most value, whereas domestically the Chase Sapphire Lounge collection isn't as comprehensive. And you can see that by this handy dandy little map I've whipped up, because at the time of recording there are only 3 Chase Sapphire Lounge locations open within the domestic United States. There is one open in Hong Kong, but I don't know how many people watching this video are going to frequently visit Hong Kong. And so the red pins are where there are currently Chase Sapphire Lounges open and able to be visited, whereas the green pins are actually where Chase has already confirmed they are going to be opening lounge locations later in the future. Those future lounge locations include Las Vegas, Philadelphia, Phoenix, and San Diego. And so when you compare the 15 Amex and Turn lounges versus the 3 Chase Sapphire Reserve lounges, I mean, there's just not even much of a competition. Pair that with the Amex Platinum also giving you access to every Delta Sky Club domestically. Of course, again, if you're flying with Delta, it's really hard to recommend the Chase Sapphire Reserve as a pure lounge access card unless you're someone who flies internationally a ton or is based out of Boston or New York. With Chase expanding their lounge offerings and locations, in the future, this could be a card that I would recommend specifically for lounge access, but I just can't do that at this moment in time. And last, but certainly not least, we're going to be talking about the Capital One Venture X. Now, this credit card actually fits into a rather interesting category because it has the lowest annual fee of all of the luxury travel credit cards we've talked about today, coming in at $395 per year. And if you've ever heard about the Capital One Venture X, you might know its superpower is the fact that technically it pays you every single year to hold the card. And what I mean by that is as long as they don't change their list of credits and how they distribute value to cardholders, well, you're going to be getting $300 every single year you can use as travel credit in the Capital One travel portal. This can be used to book things like flights and hotels. And you'll also be getting 10,000 Capital One bonus miles every time you renew your card. So $300 plus $100 in value means you're getting $400 in value each and every year for a $395 a year card. Pair that with the Capital One lounge access and the Priority Pass membership you're given, and this could be the perfect card for someone who travels once, maybe twice a year, and would like the option to get lounge access if they're traveling to or from an airport in which they can use their Capital One card at. Another superpower of the Capital One Venture X lounge access is that with Priority Pass, you'll actually get unlimited complimentary guests with this card to over 1,300 lounge locations worldwide. And so if you're someone who frequently travels with large groups of friends or family, then this could also be a great card. Again, domestically, the Priority Pass lounge offerings aren't amazing. There are some sweet spots here and there in terms of good locations, but internationally, this could be a huge money saver. Again, if you're traveling with a big group or a lot of friends. But similar to that of the Chase Sapphire Lounge collection, the Capital One Lounge network is currently very small, with 3 open and operational lounges and 2 more planned to be coming soon. But if you're based out of one of the airports that Capital One currently has a lounge in, pairing the access you would get plus the just ease of recouping the $395 a year annual fee, this could definitely be a great option for the non-frequent flyer, someone who's going on a vacation once, maybe twice a year, and visiting airports rather infrequently. And so to give a bird's eye overview of these cards and who I would suggest they're for, the American Express Platinum is best for frequent travelers who are looking for the best lounge access out there. It also helps if you're either based in a Delta hub or fly Delta pretty often, as that Delta lounge access just comes in so clutch. Depending on your lifestyle and spending habits, it could be a little bit harder to recoup that expensive annual fee, so it's something to keep in mind. The Chase Sapphire Reserve is in a really awkward spot because it's not great for frequent travelers and it's also not great for infrequent travelers. You basically have to be flying to or from an airport with a Chase lounge for this card to make sense for you. But the benefit is that the Chase points ecosystem is amazing and you are given great point redemption value when you hold this card. And what I would consider to be a close runner-up is the Capital One Venture X, because this is great for literally any traveler. You could fly once a year and you're able to recoup the cost of your annual fee. Again, I would definitely make sure to check the resources down below to see if you travel to or from a Capital One lounge location pretty frequently, or if you're based out of an airport that has a Party Pass lounge. And so although I can't give a definitive answer for everyone watching this video as to which credit card is best, I would highly recommend considering opening the American Express Platinum if you're someone who just wants the absolute best lounge access, perks, and benefits, and you're fine with that higher annual fee. Again, the Chase Sapphire Reserve is just in a really weird spot. Until Chase has more domestic lounges and has better lounge offerings, it'll be hard to recommend this card because it's harder to recoup that annual fee, and there's just so few lounges you can use this card at. And what I would say is a great card for anyone who isn't interested in the Amex Platinum is going to be the Capital One Venture X. Again, just being transparent, the Party Pass lounge network here in the United States is not fantastic. I wouldn't even say it's great. It's definitely just okay. But if you're someone who travels internationally, maybe once a year, once every other year, that's where there are tons of Party Pass lounges internationally that are really good, great food, great drinks. I was able to experience multiple of them in the last year. And again, it's just so easy to recoup the annual fee that even if you open the card and you don't visit a single lounge while holding the card, you should still be able to come out positive in terms of value, and opening the card would still be a worthwhile use of your time. And so I hope you all enjoyed today's video. If you have any questions regarding your personal situation or which card might be best for you, feel free to leave some comments down below and I'll do my best to help. If you have more personalized questions and want to hop on a call, I do offer free credit card consultations, and I'll also leave a link to that down below in the description. And so I hope you all have enjoyed today's video. If it did, a like would be greatly appreciated, as well as subscribing. And if you enjoyed today's video, I know you're going to absolutely love this one.